Hiya, welcome to JaM Club, the last one of April. Time is going so fast. I must say hello to all our regular JaM Club people. It's great to have you back, whether you're one of the JaM Club children or our team who we've been getting emails from who tell us that they're watching. So it's great to have all of you with us. But we also know that there's some other people who aren't normally linked with JaM Club who are now coming along and watching. So hello to you. If this is your very first JaM Club, welcome. It doesn't normally look like this. JaM Club normally happens in our church and we've got lots of space and we can all be together. But because of what's going on in the world right now, we all have to be in our homes. And we thought, why should we stop doing JaM Club just because we have to be in our homes? So I do my bit from my home, and then a bit later on you'll see somebody called Nikki who will do a craft and tell you how to make something, and she'll do that from her home. So this is what JaM Club looks like for the moment. I don't know how long it's going to go on for, but we will keep doing this as long as we can, as long as we're able. So if it's your first JaM Club, a very, very special welcome to you. We produce a JaM Club at Home pack, which has got extra activities in it. It's got the Bible story in there as well, so you can read it for yourselves afterwards. It's got things to do, games to play, more things to make, little activities, things to think about. So if that gets sent out to all our JaM Club people who've given us their email address. If you haven't given us your email address and you're one of our regulars, do get in touch and we will gladly send it to you. If you've just come on board, you don't normally come to JaM Club, then you can contact us. There's an email address on the website page, or you can contact us via Facebook, via Christchurch Facebook page. That's at CCWSM. If you'd like to get the JaM Club pack and do some stuff at home, we just email it out. You don't need to print it out. It uses things that are in your home. So if that's something that you'd like, then get in touch and let us know. One of the things we love to do at JaM Club is sing. So we're going to start with a song. It's one that we did last week. I think it was last week. But it's a good one to be reminded of, especially now that through it all, God is with us. So let's sing this together.
He's
It is good, isn't it, to remember that God is with us. When we rise on a good day, when we fall and it's a bad day, God is with us through it all. I hope that encourages you when you need to remember that, because we don't always remember that God is with us. So I hope that song helps you when you need it the most. So, Elisha. We're up to Elisha in the Bible. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, JaM Club isn't really about jam. I'm sorry if you've come on this expecting to see me eating strawberry jam on toast or jam donuts or jammy dodgers. We do sometimes have those at JaM Club for special treats. But JaM Club stands for Jesus and Me Club. So we are going through the story of the Bible, the big story of the Bible, God's story, and what he's done and how he loves people and the things that he's done for them and for us. So way back when we first began, we started in Genesis, the very first book of the Bible. And sometimes we do stories from the Old Testament, the first bit of the Bible, and sometimes we do stories from the New Testament, the second bit of the Bible. At the moment, we're back in the Old Testament and we're up to a book called 2 Kings. Guess what? There's one called 1 Kings 2. Not surprisingly, it's about kings. It's about kings and it's about prophets. Prophets were people who spoke God's messages and challenged others about whether they were living God's way or not. We are up to a man called Elisha. We did a story about Elisha last week, and if you want to watch that, the videos are still on the website. You can go back and look at those if you want to watch them in order. So that one's still up there. But do you remember, those of you who were with me, that we saw the pictures of Elisha and a woman and her 2 sons, and they were in a lot of trouble, and she only had a little bit of oil. They needed some money desperately, and the oil never ran out. It kept pouring until she'd filled all these jars, lots and lots of jars and pots, and she was able to sell it and get the money that she needed. Do you remember that story? Now, I know that some of you are very clever. Some of you have got excellent memories, and you will have been sat there saying, we've done a story like this. We've done a story about Elijah that was very similar to this, and you'd have been right. We did a story about Elijah and a woman and her son who, it was in a famine, there was no food, and she just had a little bit of flour and a little bit of oil. And Elijah asked her to make some bread for him, and then to make some bread for her and her son. And God said the flour and the oil would never run out, and she had to trust, and she did, and it was true. It kept them going right the way through the famine. 2 very similar stories. God was with Elisha just like he was with Elijah, and God used both of them to do some amazing things and to take care of people. So, today's story. Elisha is in it, but he's not going to be the main focus. I think the most important person in this story is a little girl. And you'll find out why when I tell it to you. So get yourself sat down comfy somewhere, get some cushions, snuggle up, and let's hear the next story about Elisha. Naaman was commander of the army of the king of Aram. He was a powerful, strong, brave, mighty man. But he had a really bad skin disease, and no one could heal him. He didn't know where to get help. But there was somebody in his house who knew exactly who could help him. She was a little girl, and she was a servant in his house. She came from Israel. She'd been kidnapped. by some people from Aram and then sold as a servant, probably a slave, to Naaman, and she now worked for Naaman's wife. She came from Israel, and she believed in Israel's God. And she knew that back in Israel there was a special man, a prophet, Elisha, a man of God, and that he would be able to heal Naaman. Now, even though she'd been kidnapped and taken away from her home, even though she was made to work in this house, she still did what she could to help. She spoke up. She told Naaman's wife, look, if he would go to Israel and see this prophet, then he would be healed. Naaman's wife told Naaman, and they obviously trusted this little girl because they decided to do what she said. So Naaman went to his king, told her what the girl had said, and asked for permission to go. So the king of Aram said, yeah, go. I'll send a letter to the king of Israel for you to take with you. So Naaman left. Off he went on his journey. Now, he didn't think this was going to be free. He didn't think anyone would heal him for nothing. So he took loads of silver and gold and the letter from the king. When he got to the king of Israel read the letter and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Does this man think I'm God? This is what the letter said. I'm sending my servant Naaman to you. I'm sending him to you so that you can heal him. The king of Israel didn't know what to think. I can't heal people. Who does he think I am? Only God can do that. And I'm not God. He was so upset because now he thought that the king of Aram was just trying to make trouble, and that when he couldn't heal Naaman, the king of Aram would come and they'd start a battle and a war between each other. Elisha heard what had happened, and he sent a message to the king saying, why are you so upset? Just send him to me. Isn't it interesting that the king of Israel, the man who was supposed to set the example for all the people of trusting in God and believing him and following him and living his ways, had no idea where to go for help? But that little girl, she knew exactly who would help and who could help. I think that's quite interesting. Naaman went to Elisha's house and he turned up at the door and he waited for Elisha to come out. Now, in Naaman's mind, he was imagining something fantastic. Maybe he thought Elisha was going to do some big ceremony and some fancy piece of work, and I don't know, but it was going to be spectacular and Naaman was going to be healed. But Elisha just sent his messenger to the door and said, here's what you need to do. You need to go down to the River Jordan and wash yourself in it, dip yourself in it 7 times, and then you'll be healed. Naaman was furious, absolutely furious. Did this man not know who he was? He was the big, mighty, strong, powerful commander of the army of Aram, and he couldn't even be bothered to come to the door himself. He sent a messenger and telling him to go and wash in some dirty river. He was really, really angry. I thought Elisha would come out. I thought he would call on the name of the Lord his God and wave his arms around and, oh, I don't know, but... And why do I have to go and wash in the River Jordan? We've got better rivers than that back where I come from. And he stormed off, furious. Thankfully, Naaman had some servants who were quite wise and maybe not quite so proud as their master. And they said to him, if the prophet had asked you to do something great, you'd have done it, wouldn't you? Doesn't it make sense just to go and do this thing that Elisha has told you to do? It's only a simple thing. He's just said, wash and you'll be healed. So Naaman calmed down and went to the River Jordan and dipped in it 7 times, just like Elisha had said. And when he came up on the 7th time, he was healed. His skin was all fresh and new. It was like the skin of a child. He'd done what Elisha had said, and now he was healed. A different Naaman came back from the river than the one that had gone down to it. He'd brought all this money with him, all this silver and gold, and now he was healed, and he wanted to say thank you. But Elisha wouldn't take it. This gift didn't cost anything. It was a free gift of God healing him. And Naaman said something amazing. Now I know that there is no God in all the earth except Israel's God. And from now on, he is the God that I will worship. It's great, isn't it? That because of that little girl being brave enough and kind enough to speak up and to say that she knew who could help him, not only was Naaman healed, but he came to meet God. And his life was changed. There's a song that I'm going to play now that I think Naaman would have been very happy to sing. It says, "You are the one true God. There will never be another." I'm going to play it for you now. I hope you enjoy it. The video I'm going to do now won't have actions in it, it's just the words. But on the website, if you scroll down the page, you'll see a link to a video with some actions that you can join in and learn afterwards.
True God, there will never be another. true God, there will never be another. You are the faithful God, forever we will praise your name. You are the one true God, there will never be another. You are the faithful God, forever we will praise your name. You are the one true God, there will never be another. You are the faithful God, forever we will praise your name. You are the one true God, there will never be another. You are the faithful God, forever we will praise your name. You are the one true God, there will never be another. You are the faithful God, forever we will praise your name. You are the one true God, you are the faithful God. You are the one true God, you are the faithful God.
So now it's time to go over to Nikki's and to see what she's going to help us make, show us how to make, to remind us of the story and some of the things we've learned today.
Hi JaM Club, how you doing? Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Did you do the oil and water painting last week? Did you decorate a God Takes Care of Me jar? Did you do a picture like I did? Or did you use the paper from the dipping in with the oil and water to decorate your jar? Did you use it for thank you prayers, things you're thankful for? Or did you use it for things you'd like to ask God for help with? Let us know. I'd love to know how you got on with that. So this week's craft is a bit fun. You got to dive into your recycling box again. Not literally, don't go diving in there, that's dangerous. But what we're going to do is we're going to make a little pop-up craft to do with a story today, to do with Naaman. Now what I've done is I've used a little rectangular cake box. We had some cakes and I used it and I covered it in some paper. Okay, can you see? That was the cake box there. I covered it in paper and I drew squiggly blue lines on it with my felt tips, like that. And I've put some sort of reeds and things that you find at the bottom of the river, and some little fish in there. And that is representing where Naaman had to go and have a wash. He was told to go and have a wash, and that he would be healed. And also, out of my cardboard box, I got lots of things. I made this little pop-up Naaman figure. Can you see him? Okay. And all I did was I drew on a piece of card a little fella like that. Two exactly the same. I folded it over and cut them out together so I got two the same shape, and then I coloured one in, and he's a bit sad because he's got the horrible skin disease, and he's got all red, horrible sore skin, blotches all over him. And then on this side he's got lovely clear skin and he's happy. Okay, and what you can do is you can cut a hole out in the bottom of your box. You might need a grown-up to help you with that, but all I did was had a bit of blue tack and a pencil, and I poked a little hole through, and then I could get my scissors in and I could cut around to make the hole in the bottom. And then you can pop your Naaman figure inside. I'm going to show you that. So there he is. He's very sad because he's got this terrible disease, and he's got to wash 7 times. So here we go. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what's going to happen? Need to have a little fiddle with it down here, don't I? Ta-da! He's healed. Needed to do that below the table, didn't I? So there we go. But if you haven't got a box, you can do it as big or as little as you like. You could do it with a cereal box, and you just need to sort of squish it down a bit. And then I cut this sort of wavy edge, covered it in paper. You could paint it, you could decorate it however you want. I did another one, which I'm going to show you now, and I just got a cardboard tube. You can use kitchen roll or a loo roll, okay? And I got paint out this time, and I painted it. Can you see that? So I did all sort of swirly blue painting on it, and then I did some green paint to make like the reeds and the plants that grow from the bottom of the river. And then I didn't use cardboard for this one. I thought I'll have a look what else I've got in the house, and I've got like this little use them for barbecues, for making sort of kebabs, and you thread meat and vegetables and things on them. So there's a little stick I found in my kitchen, and we've got some of these paper drinking straws as well. So anything like that, but you can use the cereal box and just make a stick for your person. But I've used the kebab stick for this one. So, but what you need to do is measure that you can fit your little person inside your tube, okay? Otherwise it's going to get stuck and then it won't work. So I've coloured one side already. Here he is. He's very sad as Naaman, and he's got his horrible sore skin. But on the back I haven't quite finished him, so I've coloured in his hair. So it's just two pieces, exactly the same shape, stuck down with glue or tape you can use as well. So I'm just going to give him some nice clear skin. Now, he would have had probably sort of fairly browny sort of skin because they lived over in that part of the world. Depending on what card you use, sometimes the pencils work better. This is quite a shiny card I've used here, so the pencils are a little bit slippy on it, and I'm going to put him a happy face on this side because he's all better. There, can you see? He's got the happy face. Okay, so we can do this again. So Naaman's got to, I'll do it down here, can you see? Naaman's got to bath 7 times in the River Jordan. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yay! A little fun craft for you to do. So there's sad, poor sad Naaman with his poorly skin, and happy Naaman, yay, with his clear skin, and he's been healed. So a couple of little fun things for you to try there. You can use like a little cake box or a cereal box. You can make it as big or as little as you like, or you can use the cardboard tube one like I've just shown you there. Okay, there's another activity as well in the pack, something to think about, something to think about how the Bible story today makes you feel, how you can talk to God about that, and how it's relevant for us today. So again, we'd love to hear from you. We hope you're all doing okay and staying safe and well, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks to Nikki for showing us how to make that. If you look at your JaM Club at Home pack, you'll see there's photos of the crafts in there. So you can check that out later on. Don't forget, if you're new to watching JaM Club and you'd like to receive that pack, just get in touch and we'll very happily send it on to you to give you some more activities to do during this week. You're very welcome to join us on Sunday morning for our church service. at 10:30. You can access it via our website, ccwsm.org.uk, or at our Facebook page at ccwsm. And we'd love to have you with us this Sunday. It's a little bit unusual. If before we went into lockdown, it was planned to be a cafe-style church where we'd all been sat round tables in church with cups of tea or coffee, juice and donuts. As we can't do that, we're having cafe-style church, but bring your own drink and donut. So you're very welcome to join us for that on Sunday morning. Otherwise, we will see you next Thursday for the next JaM Club. So take care of yourselves, be good, stay safe, and keep trusting God.